Good morning, music makers. We have been spending the last couple of weeks talking about music families and specifically our percussion family. That's the one we've been focusing on the last couple of weeks. We started off by watching our Disney special about what is percussion instruments and what are the different types of percussion instruments. We did our musical instrument sort to see what different instruments are percussion and what are not. And then last week we got down to the science behind our percussion instruments. We watched that video about how percussion instruments make their sound. So I told you, I gave you a couple questions for you guys to watch and answer while you were watching the video. And I'm gonna give you the answers to those. So our first question was, what were the two parts of a drum? So the two parts of the drum are the hollow bass, so any type of hollow bass, and then the tight skin or material on top of the drum are those two types of parts of the drum. Then we had, how does a drum make its sound? So when a drum is hit or strike, the air particles vibrate and within that hollow base to make the sound. And that's how percussion drums make their sound. The next one, what were some of the ways that they showed the science behind the drums? Excuse my dog. Nora, touch. Come here. So what was the science behind those drums? They showed it in different ways, like putting glitter on the drum. So they put glitter on the drum, and when they struck the drum, you saw the glitter vibrate or lift off of the drum. And they used that slow-mo camera to show you how quick those air particles vibrate. Then they had that tuning fork, that little metal fork that they hit against the surface of the table, and then they stuck it in the water. And you saw how those waves vibrate the water and the water started to splash. So those are two ways I saw them use the science behind the drum. Question number 4 was, what did they use to make their drum kit, which was the big drum set? And it was anything like buckets. They used garbage cans. They used big garbage lids for their cymbals. There's lots of different things that they used just out of at-home materials that they had. And then the last one was one fun fact that you guys learned, and I look forward to reading those. Now that we've gone through the last couple weeks of what is percussion and how does percussion make sound, it's your turn to become the percussionist. So I want to remind you that a percussion instrument can be anything that you hit, shake, scratch to make the sound. So what your job this week to do is to make your own percussion instrument out of anything that you have in the house. And you know, it's as simple as hitting two things together or making sound out of hitting an object. So what I'm going to show you is a couple percussion instruments that I made out of random things that I found in my house. So the first one I did was I tried to make my own drum. What I did was I had a balloon in my basement. I cut off the little tip of the balloon, put it over the edge of my hollow base, which I used just a plastic cup, and made my own drum. Or you can use a mallet in the drum. I have just a spoon here, and you can hit it that way. But that was one percussion instrument. The next one I did was a shaker. Mine is an empty water bottle and some rice. Any small thing that you can put in there to make your shaker, you can experiment with it too. Does putting rice in there sound different than if you put rocks in there or beads or anything that you might have? But again, a percussion instrument, I'm shaking to make sound. The last one I did was I call them finger cymbals. So these are lids to old jars that I had, just metal jar lids. I put some tape on the back to make little handles. So I put my fingers in them and you can hit them together. So those are 3 examples of different things you can do. Again, yours do not need to look like mine. Whatever you think a percussion instrument is and you want to make out of different materials in your house, you can. Again, they don't need to look like mine. You can make something similar to mine or use mine as inspiration, but I want to see how creative you guys can get. Make your instruments. I want you guys to submit a video of you guys playing your own percussion instruments on Class Dojo Portfolio. And lastly, save your instruments so you can use them for our lesson next week. So this week, all your only job is to make one percussion instrument that is made out of things that you can find at your house. Anything that you might find. Make a video of you playing that percussion instrument and submit it online. And then, lastly, keep your instrument for next week so you can use it to play some of the rhythms we practice next week. Okay, guys? Have fun with it, enjoy, and get creative, and I can't wait to see what you guys make.